good afternoon, because it's taken a little while to set up the web page portion. It's the last thing we're doing. It is due April 22nd. That's a week and a half away at midnight, because web pages are a whole nother animal. So I'll take a look at that. Many of you have submitted your content for the website, and I really appreciate that. And so, but if you haven't done it, you may still submit it, and I'll put it in the, and I will put it in the file so you can use it. It's the only way you're going to get your material to the website. Anyway, we'll take a look at that and some ideas on what to do with it. And that will be, that's what we'll do. Anyway, without further ado, let's take a look at what we got. First off, and I have this for both classes, here is April 22nd. Here's for the first class, all the files that have been submitted. So, and I could still add to it. You can take a look. You need to sort this out and decide what goes where. But when you do a web page, you have to have, well, like a magazine page, you have to have it in front of you. So there it is. There's all the material I have. It's separate for both classes. And again, this is where you hand it in. Not everybody's done it yet. And then once you have the material, and again, it's right there with the assignment, we look at what to do with it. So here's some basics of web design, of how it looks. Remember, the web page is primarily visual. It's about how it looks as much as anything. So everything we've been talking about so far, using design to organize your material and establish who you are, that's paramount. And it's still the same sorts of things. We read from right to left, and so should your website. You need good pictures, and we have them, strong dominant elements. You know, if something really stands out, if everything's the same, you don't know where to look, because you need to have somebody move across the page using a white space and lay it out on a grid. And I saw on the magazines, a lot of you people kind of got away from that. You really shouldn't. Everything should all have a grid pattern underneath so you can line it all up. Anyway, so here are some elements of good design. Right up front, let people know what it is. And I saw a couple of in the magazines that, you know, would say business or entertainment, and you need to be in focus. You need to know exactly what it is right up on top. Simple. Colors. The colors need to be consistent. Don't do 100 different colors, because then it'll look like a paint can exploded. Typography, everything we talked about. Again, dominant headline, maybe 2 different fonts, one for headlines, one for copy, and maybe a third for links or display. Again, imagery is important. Visuals, just like our magazine pages, so much is about the visuals. Navigation should be real easy to find yourself out or around. If you don't know what goes where, you don't know what, it does not help the UX, the user experience. Anyway, this will help. F-shaped reading pattern. This helps your first thing right across. You should know the title, a picture, a title, and then you read across. Second thing, some content, and then you read across, and there might be a list of links or links of other pages. And at the bottom, you have more links. So headline, information, more information. That's really the best way to lay it. Visual hierarchy, we talked about that. Bigger elements on top, important things are bigger than smaller things. Content, you have to have good stuff. If the photo's out of focus, if the pictures, if the story isn't good, you don't have to use it. And in this case, for this project, you don't have to use something you don't like. And again, grid paste layout, grid based, not paste. See, that helps you line things up neatly. So again, 3 grids, always, always. Oh, this is a good one. This is why we talked about file size when we did pictures. So much, if you have a big 300 DPI picture, it will take forever to load and you'll lose viewers. This is why we need to format our photos or our maps or any visuals, 72 dots an inch. And then check it out on mobile. See, once you have it on your screen, make sure and adjust accordingly it works on a phone or a pad. And that's another thing. Once you're done with your design, download it, open it up, check it out on another computer, because what works on one computer may not work on another. Okay, here's a little video on functionality. Now, functionality means it works well. This example's fairly ugly design-wise, but it's well organized.
In the last 4 years, I've seen more Georgians face pain, face challenges, and I've seen too many missed opportunities.
Sorry, Stacy.
Navigate through the site immediately just by looking at it.
Okay, from the top.
Today I'm going to share with you a few rules of a good web page design. Let's go to our computer and I'll show you an example. I have opened my website, which is daveandrews.org/products. And I'm going to show you what I think makes this site have a good design. First of all, I have a very clearly laid out menu.
Yep.
And it has rollover effects, if you'll notice that as well. That way, somebody who is visiting.
And he's got that F thing happening across and down.
My website can tell exactly how they can navigate through the site immediately just by looking at it. You can tell.
Yes, use buttons.
That if I wanted to go to my press page, I'll just click on press, which pulls up all of my press releases. If I go back to my main site, it's usually going to be a good idea to stick with the standard of having underlines on your links. And as you'll notice, this Easy Server Monitor Complete is actually underlined. Some sites nowadays are going to the trend of removing that underline. And if a visitor is used to seeing links be underlined, they won't even realize that that those are links. So they'll never click on them, and therefore they'll never navigate your site. It's also a good idea to either use the standard blue or just some kind of color that offsets your links from the typical color on your page. That way, yet again, they can realize that it's a link that they're able to click on. Now, Another good idea is when you click on, let's say you have, for instance, here a listing of a product. Every single thing that I click on for this product that has to do with it, such as features, frequently asked questions, they take me to a page that has a header that matches the text of the link that they just clicked on in some way, shape, form, or fashion.
That's good.
That way, let's say I clicked on frequently asked questions here, but what I got to was how to buy. That doesn't make any sense. I won't read any of this, and I'll just click back and I'll go. So
Also, make sure this links back to your lead
Somewhere
page.
else. So make your headers on your web pages match the navigation links that are going to them.
Okay, simple, but it's a good underlying thing to have. Okay, as he just showed you, you can't put everything at once. In web design, you need to think almost in 3 dimensions. We call it page depth. You click on the button and it leads you to another page, and you click on a button and that leads you to another page. But then you have to make sure you link it back to the main page. It's not all laid out in front of you. One page is essentially behind another. Front page should be a menu to the inside pages, hyperlinks to outside activity, and to lead you back. Here are some from earlier classes. When we did restaurants, this is a very good one for this class. By the way, you can use Wix or Weebly. Of course, this was a live class, so we can take a class picture. They have all about food, see contact information. No, they should have put what this is about. Here's restaurant links, bit depth, all the gallery of the pictures. Let's look at, see, just like our class. Here's all that stuff and a map. The one thing we don't have is a link back to the front page. Well, you go to the home page. Should put a link right there. But yeah, done for this class. And again, we're using Wix or Weebly. Here's another one that I did. This is using Blogspot. No, this is not Blogspot. This one is using WordPress. See, we have all who's who. We have right on our front page, who's who, including me. And then this is for an international trip to Ireland. And see, his blogs on the side. Here's student work. That's my daughter. She was with us on our trip to Ireland. Multimedia projects, photos. Here's our happy class. And different sorts of stuff. See, but there's always links to inside and then go back home. Well-designed pages. You can do this. Again, it's Wix or Weebly or WordPress. We're not doing coding or HTML. There it goes. Here's, whoops. Okay, here's some more ideas. Again, make sure you have everything in front of you before it does it. Be clear about who you are. Again, a lot of this is redundant. A lot of this is the stuff I've just already told you, but here's more. More principles. Okay, more principles and ideas. Won't go over all of them because I've done it myself just now. Plus I did one that I set aside. Now, here are some links to some templates that you can use. Most people end up using Wix. It's for free. So we can do that. A lot of people use Weebly. Just get your own started. Here are some templates that you can plug in. But using what we have for this course, you can really adjust what you have on these sites just for your purposes. Okay, WordPress, I use that. So you can do all sorts of stuff with that. And Blogspot. Blogspot's probably the easiest one. So yeah, here's something I did. See? Oop. Okay, here's mine. Trip to India. I've done a lot of international work. And they set up a fine template too. You can make this a blog. You can make this a Weebly website because the blog also has links. And I went at the end of every day, I would sit down and do, see, and here's a link. What's it like on a rickshaw ride? Anyway, so those really are the things that, yeah, you can and should use. Wix, Weebly, most common, you can use the others. So these are the things that you can use to give you a template to start. Again, I showed you, I have back on the class page, on the class pages, I have okay, that's all done. We have best websites from a couple of years back. I saved them. Here's where you can hand in yours. This is where you can hand in your content. And next week, I'll post publication law and ethics and go over that and do one more lecture recording, just some stuff to keep in the back of your mind as you use content to post online, because you could just throw in anything for a class because it's just between you and me. But really copyright and some of this other stuff comes in when you're posting for the world to see. So I'll talk about that next week, just to double check, should not be an issue. So it's your turn. We have a week and a half. You can send me drafts as always. Lots of stuff here. You can do this. Anyway, I appreciate it. And let me know how you're doing. You did really well with the magazines. It took a while to get up to speed, but you all did good. And you're going to do good at this. Anyway, I do appreciate it. And I'm here if you need me. Have a good one.